So it is August 5th, 2026, and Arista Networks just did something completely unprecedented in their history.
Yeah, a really massive milestone for them.
Right. They just posted their first ever $3 billion quarter, specifically $3,035.7 million. But here is the crazy part that we really need to figure out today.
The margins, right?
Exactly. I mean, Arista, ticker ANET, is fundamentally a hardware company. They bend metal, they manufacture physical boxes, and they ship them around the world.
Which is usually a pretty brutal business model.
It is. Yet they are putting up profit margins that look like they belong to a pure cloud-based software company. So welcome to the deep dive. We're looking at a stock that has absolutely rocketed, like up over 800% in the last 5 years, sitting right around $203 a share today.
And that context is why this is much more than just a standard earnings report. This is what the industry calls a clean beat and raise.
Right. Yeah.
And the sheer magnitude of it is really shifting how people view infrastructure. I mean, we're looking at revenue up 37.7% year over year. Yeah. And their adjusted earnings per share, non-GAAP EPS, is $1.02, which is up almost 40% as well.
That's huge.
It is. And management didn't just, casually beat expectations. They raised their full-year guidance for the third time, pushing the target to an astonishing $12.6 billion.
So our mission for you listening today is to unpack exactly how a networking company riding the absolute crest of this AI supercycle manages to put up those software-like margins.
Because it really defies traditional hardware economics.
Totally. We're also going to explore
Because to really understand this $3 billion milestone, we have to look under the hood at that anomaly you mentioned earlier.
the software margins.
Exactly. They are selling physical hardware, but generating profit margins that look like a pure software play.
Okay, let's unpack this because the Q2 numbers are just staggering. Their gross margins are at 63.4%. But the number that really jumps off the page is their operating margin.
Oh, yeah.
It came in at practically 50%, like literally 49.9% non-GAAP operating margin. I just have to ask, how does a company that physically manufactures network switches keep half of every single dollar it makes from operations?
Well, it completely breaks the mold.
Yeah.
To put some objective framing around just how rare this is, our sources include a 6-point scorecard used to track elite corporate quality,
Okay.
and Arista scored a 5 out of 6. But the metric that really tells the story of their operational efficiency is the Rule of 40.
Remind us how that works again.
Sure, so you take a company's revenue growth rate and you add its operating profit margin. If that combined number clears 40, you're considered elite.
Okay, got it.
Arista has cleared that hurdle for 20 consecutive quarters.
Wait, 20 quarters, that's 5 years straight.
Exactly, through supply chain crises, economic swings, all of it. And this quarter, they didn't just clear 40, they posted a record 88%.
88%, that is insane, combining that near 40% revenue growth with the 50% operating margin.
Right. Now, the only minor miss, the reason they didn't get a perfect 6 out of 6 on that scorecard, was their trailing 12-month sequential operating profit growth.
Okay, what was that at?
It came in at 9%, which is just shy of their 10% target. But the underlying engine driving that massive 88% Rule of 40 score...
The answer to how they keep half of every dollar?
Exactly. It's their software. Specifically, their Extensible Operating System, or EOS, and their Cloud Vision Management software.
The secret sauce.
Yeah, because while you are buying the metal box, you're really paying for the brain inside it. Their service revenue, which is basically the recurring high-margin support and subscriptions, just hit $431 million for the quarter.
Oh, wow, and that's growing fast, right?
Yep, up 31.3%.
Let me try to put this architectural advantage into a real-world analogy for you guys listening. Imagine if Apple engineered the exact same iOS to run a basic smart bulb in your living room, your everyday iPhone, and a massive multi-million-dollar supercomputer at NASA.
That's a great way to think about it.
Right, because that is essentially what Arista has achieved with EOS. It is one single unified software image that runs from a basic 10-gig campus switch all the way up to a 1.6 terabit AI fabric inside a mega data center.
Which is wild when you compare it to the competition.
Exactly. If you look at Cisco, their multi-operating system stack looks like a tangled mess of extension cords by comparison.
What's fascinating here is how that elegant single software image creates massive structural advantage. It's not just about the margin.
Right, it's about lock-in.
Exactly. It dictates how deeply Arista gets embedded into a customer's business. They boast over 10,000 cumulative customers now.
And ripping out Arista isn't just unplugging a router.
No, it means re-architecting your entire network stack. Once an IT department standardizes on EOS, their engineers learn that specific command line interface. They build all their deployment scripts around it.
Which creates incredible loyalty, right? I mean, a detail in the sources that absolutely blew my mind was their customer satisfaction scores.
Oh, they're legendary.
A net promoter score of 89 and a 94% customer approval rating. In enterprise IT, an NPS of 89 is bordering on fanatical.
It really is. Nobody notices the network until it breaks, so scoring that high means it just works flawlessly.
And because it works so well, they don't even have to advertise. They spend only about 4.5% of their revenue on sales and marketing.
Which is unheard of in tech.
Right. The product essentially sells itself through word of mouth and what management calls privileged partnerships.
Yeah, those 10 to 15-year co-design relationships. They are literally sitting in the room with the biggest cloud providers, co-engineering the infrastructure.
Which connects directly to this pristine balance sheet we're seeing. Since they barely spend on marketing and only maintain one software image, they run super lean.
Incredibly lean. They have just $30 million in quarterly CapEx.
And their free cash flow runs at over 100% of operating profit, meaning like almost every dollar of profit turns into actual cash.
Which has allowed them to build this massive fortress. They are sitting on a cash pile of over $10 billion with literally zero debt.
And that flawless, highly reliable software foundation.
Laying their blue box over cheap white boxes, yeah.
Exactly. That made Arista the obvious choice when hyperscalers and the neoclouds suddenly needed to build massive fail-proof AI data centers.
Because AI training is so fragile. If the network drops a packet, the GPUs sit idle, and you lose millions.
Right. The networking has to be perfect. And the speed of this AI ramp is breathtaking. Arista went from just 4 or 5 AI Etherlink customers in 2024 to over 100 cumulative customers today.
It's an explosive pivot. Management even just raised their 2026 AI Fabrics revenue goal to at least $3.5 billion.
And to hit that, you look at the hardware tech, and it's just geeky and marvelous. The new 7060X E7 switch.
The specs on that are unbelievable.
I mean, 1.6 terabit throughput per port, 100 terabit overall capacity, and it runs so hot that for the first time, Arista has to build liquid cooling options directly into the switches.
Yeah, traditional air cooling physically cannot remove the heat fast enough at those speeds.
Right.
And synthesizing all this, Arista's AI infrastructure strategy breaks down into 3 pillars. Scale up, scale out, and scale across.
Break those down for us real quick.
Sure. So scale up is inside the single rack. Scale out connects those racks into clusters, and scale across uses their massive 7800 spine switch to anchor the whole distributed environment.
And the best part, all of this runs on that exact same EOS software.
Exactly. But it's also worth noting, while AI is the headline, their core data center front end is re-accelerating too.
Oh, that's right. The campus revenue target held steady at $1.25 billion.
Yeah, and their international revenue leapt dramatically from 13.5% in Q1 to 23% this quarter. That's $698 million internationally.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. Building out the physical infrastructure for this global AI boom isn't just a software problem.
No, you need silicon, optics, copper.
Massive amounts of physical hardware, which has led management to make an enormous logistical bet. Arista currently has $9.7 billion in purchase commitments.
That's right, and that's up $800 million just in the quarter.
Plus, they're carrying $2.5 billion in actual inventory. I have to push back on this because they are essentially buying a decade's worth of groceries before they even know if the restaurant will be full.
It is a massive forward commitment, yeah.
I mean, it's a huge demand signal, but if AI spending hits an air pocket, doesn't that inventory just become a heavy anchor dragging them down?
It is absolutely a risk. But to understand why they did this, you have to look at the last 2 quarters. Their supply chain was just suffocating them.
They literally couldn't get the parts.
Right. So they finally unlocked it by aggressively expanding. They brought on 3 contract manufacturers and set up 3 distribution sites across the U.S., Asia, and Mexico.
So they essentially built ahead of the boom.
Exactly. They secured 12 months of printed circuit board and optics capacity. This easing of the supply chain is the main reason they could confidently guide Q3 to roughly $3.3 billion.
They had to buy the materials or they couldn't build the products people were begging for.
Right, but there is another side to this gamble. Customer concentration.
Ah, yeah.
Microsoft and Meta.
Still over 10% of revenue each. In the past, they've been even higher.
which means a sneeze from Mark Zuckerberg or Satya Nadella gives Arista a cold.
We've literally seen that happen. In Q3 2025 into Q1 2026, just the worry over Microsoft and Meta's CapEx caused Arista's stock to draw down nearly 30%. It went from $146 down to $123. Wow. Are they trying to diversify that?
They are. Management expects one or two new 10% tier customers to emerge in 2026, but right now, that concentration is a real risk.
So what does this all mean for you listening? We have this $9.7 billion supply chain commitment and this reliance on a few Titan customers.
Yeah.
That brings us to the valuation.
The vertigo-inducing valuation.
Right. At $203, Arista is trading at a 53 times trailing earnings multiple. It re-rated from 39 times just a few months ago.
Which means they are priced for absolute perfection.
Exactly. At this price, any slip-in, say, the 1.6 terabit qualification, could crush the multiple back to the 40 to 45 times range. The market is demanding flawless execution.
And this raises an important question, because their biggest long-term threat isn't just their own execution.
It's NVIDIA, right?
Yes, the big unproven transition. In that scale-up AI space, connecting GPUs inside a single rack, NVIDIA's proprietary NVLink and InfiniBand are completely dominant.
NVIDIA has an absolute grip on that back-end fabric.
And Arista's strategy is to fight that with open standards. Arista is a founding member of the Ultra Ethernet Consortium, the UAC, and ESIN, trying to push Ethernet as the alternative to InfiniBand.
Setting up a massive clash for 2027.
Exactly. Those 1.6 terabit switches enter trials in late 2026, but meaningful production isn't until 2027. It's a multi-year, highly unproven transition. Can Open Ethernet really displace NVIDIA's proprietary grip?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question. So, to quickly summarize our deep dive today, Arista just crushed its first $3 billion quarter with 50% margins, totally driven by that unified EOS software moat.
Right.
They are aggressively locking up $9.7 billion in supply chain commitments to feed this AI supercycle. But at a 53 times premium multiple, they face immense pressure to execute flawlessly and somehow steal market share from NVIDIA's InfiniBand in 2027.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Arista's battle against NVIDIA isn't just about switches.
What do you mean?
It's a philosophical war for the future of artificial intelligence itself. You have to ask, will the underlying fabric of AI be a proprietary walled garden controlled by one single chip maker? Or will it be built on open, universal Ethernet standards?
Wow.
Arista is basically betting $9.7 billion that open standards always win in the end. Keep an eye on those 2027 Ethernet trials because they might just dictate the architecture of the internet for the next decade.
That is an incredible thought to leave on. Just a reminder that this deep dive is for educational purposes only and is not investment advice. Thank you so much for joining us as we unpack this milestone. If you enjoyed the deep dive, be sure to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time.